This is the part of the season where your record can lie to you. You can look alive on paper and still be soft in the one place that matters. And today, an expansion team goes to Foxboro and learns what it is. Foxboro is not loud like a dome. It's loud like weather. Cold air, a steady wind, and the kind of game where every punt matters. In the morning of this game, somebody in the newspaper predicts a Patriots win by 56-7. That's not analysis. That's a statement of status. It's the league saying, you're new. You're not real yet. And this episode is about how Carolina answers that. Not with a slogan, not with a miracle, but with something older. A finished professional. Expansion teams are supposed to be terrible. Well, that's the rule. Carolina opens its history with 5 straight losses. And then, coming into this game, they had won 2 straight. So by this time, they aren't just a cute story anymore. This is the first time the Panthers walk into a real NFL building and have a chance to take something. They're not supposed to. That's the point. And across the field is Bill Parcells, a coach who doesn't give you respect. He makes you earn it in inches. So if Carolina wins this game, it won't be because they're flashy. It'll be because they're stable. It'll be because they can survive the parts of football that don't go viral. And that brings us to our player. Our player lens today is linebacker Carlton Bailey. In my project's internal index, I've got him at number 98. Not because he's a legend here, but because he's the type of player expansion teams quietly need to borrow. Here's what matters about Bailey. He wasn't a building block prospect. He was a finished professional, brought in to teach an expansion defense how to survive. He enters the league in 1988. He's a 9th round pick, a linebacker out of North Carolina. He spent seasons in Buffalo, seasons in New York with the Giants, on teams that play deep into January. And by the time he joins Carolina, he's already 31 years old. Not ancient, but he's not a spring chicken either. So when he shows up here, he isn't learning football. He's carrying football. He's the guy who knows how to line up right, how to make a tackle on 3rd down, how to keep the game from breaking. And today, in the wind and the cold, with Carolina walking into a hostile building, they need that. They need adults. Because this game is going to test their relationship with pressure. Before we get into the timeline, here's the shape of the day. This is not a highlight game, it's an edges game. Field position, punts, a kick drifting in the wind, one fumble that changes the entire room. If you're used to football as chaos, this one feels slow. But slow is where you can see structure. And structure is where a finished professional lives. So let's walk it. The first half is football's oldest language. Drive stalls, punts, drive stalls, punts. You get it. New England gets on the board first. A field goal. Patriots lead 3-0. And that's the whole vibe. A game that won't give you points. A game that makes you earn breathing room. But Carolina doesn't panic, and that's the note. Because expansion teams usually panic. They start reaching, they start freelancing, and they start making mistakes. And those mistakes sometimes turn into an avalanche. Bailey's part of the reason they don't. He's where he's supposed to be, over and over. Watch the middle of the defense in games like this. The ball doesn't always go to you, but the run fit does, the check down does, and the don't let it become a big play does. A veteran linebacker is basically a brake pedal. At halftime, it's still 3-0. And that's important, because now we get to the question, what does Carolina do when the game asks them to take a step forward? The third quarter answers that. Carolina comes out at halftime and finally finds some oxygen. First, a field goal ties it. Then the rookie quarterback Kerry Collins, well, he starts throwing punches. Touchdown pass, Collins to Eric Guilford, 24 yards. And then another one, Collins to Willie Green, 33 yards. This is the moment where the game feels like it's turning into a story, because if you're an expansion team, you're not just playing the opponent, you're playing the expectation. And for a moment, Carolina's beating both. But football is not a movie. It doesn't end when you hit the big note. It tests whether you can protect that note. The fourth quarter answers that. And the fourth quarter belongs to the New England Patriots and to Curtis Martin. They start by doing what veteran teams do. They shorten the game. They make you tackle. They make you defend the same idea until your legs start negotiating. Martin scores, 17-10. Martin scores again. Tie game. And now we're back in the part of the game where expansion teams usually break. Because you can feel it, right? You can feel the room changing. You can feel the lead disappearing. And you can feel the doubt starting to return. And Carolina has to decide, are we new or are we real? Well, they were both. This is where Bailey's value isn't glamorous. It's not a sack, it's not a pick six. It's stability. It's getting people lined up. And it's making the tackle that keeps it from becoming worse. Then Carolina gets a chance to win it in regulation. A field goal try, 39 yards. And it misses. No speech, no excuse, just misses. So, the game goes to overtime. Overtime starts simple. Carolina wins the toss. They take the ball, and they move it a little, but not enough. They have to punt. And now the game becomes what it was all along. Edges. Carolina's defense forces a stop, 3 and out. And New England is backed up deep. So deep that the punter is basically punting from inside a phone booth. Pat O'Neill kicks it away, but it's short. Eric Guilford returns it, and suddenly, Carolina has the ball already in field goal range. This is where the finished professional idea pays off, because this isn't a miracle, it's geometry. A stop, a punt, a return. And now you just need the kicker to be calm in the wind. 4 plays later, John Casey lines it up again, this time from 29 yards. Panthers 20, Patriots 17. Overtime final. And that's how an expansion team wins in Foxboro. Not with fireworks, with adults. Here's what the headline version says. Carolina wins, 2017 in overtime. But the historical version is better. This is the win that caps 3 straight victories after an 0-5 start. That's not just a turnaround. That's an identity coming into form. And Bailey's the lens today because he represents something expansion teams don't naturally have. Institutional memory. He's played on teams that know what games feel like when the stakes rise. So when Carolina's lead collapses and the room gets tight, he doesn't freak out. He doesn't need to. He's been there. And now we do the thing that keeps me honest. Spot 98. Carlton Bailey. We've got 100 spots here, and we're going to fill them out one at a time through the season. We start at number 98, Carlton Bailey. Episode 1 is about a finished professional, teaching a new team how to survive. Episode 2 will be different. Episode 2 is about a defender who shows up in a moment and takes something away. Tyrone Poole. And the story shifts from, can we hold up, to, can we steal a game? If you're paying attention, you'll feel the franchise start to change shape. I'll see you in episode 2.